It's time to stop the false showmanship and bravado. It's time for our politicians to recognize that they have caused problems and that they need to propose real solutions. Nowhere has this been more clear than the pictures that we all saw across the country of Ontario Premier Doug Ford pouring out a bottle of Crown Royal whiskey to protest the fact that an Amherstburg, Ontario facility, which has bottled Crown Royal whiskey for decades, is going to be closing down, with its Canadian operations moving to Quebec and its bottling for American customers moving to somewhere in the United States. Now, of course, losing these jobs is an unfortunate reality of today's economy, and it's right for the Premier to lament that. But it is wrong, for example, for him to threaten to take Crown Royal off the shelves at the LCBO. Instead, our politicians need to be proposing real solutions. The federal Liberals were cheering Doug Ford on while he was pouring out that bottle of whiskey, and the truth is that both the federal government and the provincial government are to blame. At both levels, we've seen deficits for years on end, high taxes, runaway spending, which has contributed to those deficits, too many regulations, and a lack of real policy solutions. In Ontario, the current government proposed to cut the corporate tax rate from 11.5% to 10.5% some 7 years ago and has failed to follow through. Energy prices in Ontario are still some of the highest in North America. There are reasons why companies would want to leave Ontario besides a trade war, and the parent company of Crown Royal, Diageo, has said that they are moving operations to the United States, bottling operations for American customers to the United States, not because of the trade war, but because of pre-existing issues and pre-existing reasons. So this needs to be a wake-up call for our politicians at all levels. Stop the bravado, which is only a hope of changing perhaps poll numbers, but not actually changing what's really happening on the ground in the economy. And let's actually make real changes that include substantially cutting government spending, cutting taxes, including corporate taxes, slashing regulations, and making Ontario and Canada a competitive place once again. Because Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Prime Minister Mark Carney keep talking about wanting to make this country the most competitive economy in the G7. But that's not going to happen with runaway spending, high taxes, lots of regulations, and high energy prices. The time for change is now, and it's time for our politicians to buckle up, stop with the bravado, and propose real policy solutions.